Um, Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Good morning. We're good. How are you?
I'm waiting for the deer to go by, Diana.
Morning.
Un jabalín o algo, a fake one, and you're gonna be do a paper cut one. Anyway, I'd like to call the meeting to order. We can review the minutes for the meeting of January 20th of 21st, 2021. I went over them. I didn't see anything, but please look at them and review them and see if there are any changes or revisions that you'd like to make. If there are no changes, can I have someone motion to approve the minutes as they are?
The minutes as they are.
I motion to second.
Is the anyone sign up for public comments, Erica?
No, Mr. Chair, we do provide the link to access our meeting. It is a public meeting, and there are no members of the public signed on, so no public comments at this time.
Okay, thank you. Let's move on to item 4, which is discussion possible actions for regarding the following is the report from Christine Reyes from the Special Needs Program.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Christine. How are you?
Good, thank you. From the agenda I sent this for the postponed meeting, I did add a few more bullets to the agenda, so I'll go ahead and email that towards the end of the day to everyone just so that they have all the information of the newly added bullets I added to the agenda. Starting today, I'll start with a meeting was conducted in regards to an ADA playground and funding opportunities with the Parks and Recreation Division that included the grant administrator for the city. The topics of the meeting included the goal is to develop and connect the divisions and program to offer inclusive programs and services. Grant opportunities were discussed and ideas were exchanged to help find funding for future projects. The children and young adults with special healthcare needs program suggested an ADA transitional plan to the Parks and Rec Division, an inclusion policy, and an advisory board or a focus group to become a nonprofit to help apply for funding for equipment and materials. That information, once we were educating the Parks and Rec Division that if they were to establish a nonprofit through a committee or create a collaboration with other nonprofits, such as ones that have focus areas like autism or epilepsy, any disability that wanted to help collaborate with this division, made on their side to the recreation division so that materials and equipment can be donated to that division for the focus of inclusion into the recreation centers or the parks. So there was further discussion. Of course, we're still in the planning phases of this. Again, this is an ongoing project that is requiring time and planning to help develop areas and assist the division, such as parks, to make these projects a reality. I will continue to keep everyone posted on the progress of this initiative that we're taking. SIP shop facilitator training was done, a 4-day training. The staff took exams and completed the exam. Qualified to be a SIP shop facilitator. The program does provide opportunities for brothers and sisters of children with special needs to obtain peer support and education within a highly recreational and recreation director to create a collaboration on this new initiative. Our program closed this month of January, or this past month, with 48 new clients. I'm sorry, closed with 48 new clients, and in February with 30 new clients, so bringing the total surveys, both for the city and the state. And the clients were also provided information on health department programs and services, community resources such as the warming center that we had set up, food bank distributions, Webb County Community Services, and Texas Health and Human Services, and caseworker referrals. Our staff completed Our staff completed and passed the FEMA emergency management exam that includes people with disabilities and others with access and functional needs in a disaster operation. It was so that once we had the warming center, we could apply our practices there. Our staff, upon completing that, it helped educate us on specific instructions and needs the disability community would need during these type of disasters or emergency preparedness events. So it was a real great learning experience on that information that we got from FEMA, and then being able to take the exam and get a certification through there. We applied to the Texas Partners in Policymaking that was sent by the state grantor. Texas Partners in Policymaking is a statewide leadership development training program for self-advocates and families of individuals with developmental disabilities. Once it is approved, we'll go through a series of trainings in the capital, which is Austin, Texas, to learn a little bit more on policymaking and creating policies for the disability community. The program established a collaboration with the University of Texas Austin Disability Study Center to participate in a webinar for the one-page profile presentation. Ms. Shelby Davenport, creator of the one-page profile, will present and discuss the tool to Doctors Hospital and LMC. We'll be working on a collaboration for an educational webinar where staff will come in and learn firsthand from Shelby and also Mr. Jeff Takes from UT. I think this is a great collaboration. They're really excited, and I think it's going to. We're going to try to also get in nursing homes, because we know that this tool can be universal. So that once a family member does have an individual with a disability that enters a nursing home or a hospital, the services can improve so that we better understand our family members with that disability. Our program provided information this, during the power outage. It was recommended by the grantor. We prepared a We had a lot of feedback, especially emails on residents that were really thankful that the information got out to them because, again, we weren't, a lot of people are not prepared to want some guidance. And assist the families during the unprecedented time. So we had great feedback. The video was shared via social media. We sent it to all community support group pages and uploaded it on YouTube. The staff also provided the warming center with information for if a family with a child or young adult with special healthcare needs. The program partnered with the Parks and Recreation Department to provide art and sensory kits to families that arrived at the warming center. The art and the sensory more comfortable. It was really when we showed up to the warming center, we had about 16 kids that day when I went. So we created these kits. They were offered. It was a really good initiative, and the kids really liked it. I liked that they were distracted. You know, that was the goal, and to help keep them calm during their stay at the warming center, because we know that, you know, even an environmental change can sometimes trigger sensory overloads or kits available to the families. The staff connected with Driscoll's Children's Hospital in Corpus Christi and Santa Rosa's Children's Hospital. The Children's Hospital of San Antonio and Corpus we're looking to link services for children and young adults with special health care needs in Laredo, Texas. We're currently So again, this is an ongoing project. We're going to connect with both children's hospitals to see what services can be linked here to Laredo, and then coordinating the process to with our primary care services, our health directors, and everyone that's going to be involved on that and collaborate. The program proposed, the chair exercise program that we proposed this past week was approved by our health department directors. Individuals who have complications standing during a fitness routine. This includes children to senior citizens, people with balance issues, injuries, disabilities, or suffering from obesity. It's designed to keep individuals mobile to ensure they remain progressive in daily function or recovery. This program is designed to deliver a fun, interactive workout that uplifts people while providing a fun exercise program. We are currently working on the marketing material and looking to start the Adaptive Aquatic Certified Physical Educator, Mr. Philip Conister. Introductions were made in hopes to get information on the product. This is a new project we're working on. It's currently we're going through the proposals, and then from the proposals, we'll look. As from what we know, Mr. Philip Conister is the South Texas Cape for Adaptive Aquatics. So it was a bring to Laredo. The staff also connected with a project manager, Mr. Jay Smith, from the collaboration of programs to assist local families in prevention, early detection, and intervention services will be linked. We're going to be working alongside these have can get everyone services and transitional services if needed, so that we can help assist these families. Educational material videos for the month of February that were provided were educational flyers on American Heart Day, World Cancer Day. We also made efforts to create a Congenital Heart Defects Week video. And then we also created National Children Dental Health Month videos and our National Heart Valve Disease Awareness. As per yesterday, I did have a meeting with the state. We requested funding opportunities for the following. Accessible features for the disability community. We had got approved for that. I requested scholarships to award to high schools, one student per high school to be given a scholarship to this to help motivate the students and assist with individual educational plan materials. I was approved for that. And additional to help the clients with daily living, and to purchase materials for art therapy, music therapy, nutrition aids, and therapeutic gardening to benefit the client's health and well-being. And we got approved for that as well. That's it for my report. I'm not sure if anyone has questions. I know it's a lot, but if there's any questions, like I said, I will be keeping everyone posted on projects. even ones that we're proposing. Of course, some are still pending proposals and approvals, but I'd like to keep everyone on board to know that, you know, this is what we do, what we're trying to do, and if there's any ideas or recommendations, feel free to email me or call me or let me know. Of course, the more and providing services, but the services hit a universal as well in senior citizens.
Christine, thank you so much. And it is true, you do provide a lot. I was going to ask you, how many people comprise your unit, the special needs unit? Is it only you?
Yes, it's only me.
Really? What do you do? Like research all day? What you can come up with or what?
Thankfully, I have a lot of energy, but what really, really motivates me is, of course, both my children do have disabilities. So I'm not only a health educator, but an advocate. And the other part about it is, you know, when we go through these crises, even with the pandemic, it's just so much motivation to want to help caregivers about it, and that's what our program's for.
Well, we appreciate it because I know that sometimes the world may seem real like not very helpful, okay? And when you need a lot of assistance with your pamphlets or information that went out or you uploaded it, how to deal with children needs during a blackout. Was that done like
Yes,
before? Did you all have a premonition or was it done?
the video, it was a video that was done. It was through slides and it was an informational PowerPoint that was made. We provided it on YouTube and social media, so it stays on YouTube. We can continue sharing it. I know I've had parents ask me for you know, flyer-based information, educational material, so I'll go ahead and make that and send that individually to or through text or through email. But yes, we do have within our program, if someone were to we do have things already saved on hand to be able to send through their email or text, or we'll develop it that day and we'll share it through social media. Because if, you know, I can imagine a similar question or concern, so we'll try to get that information out.
Well, thanks. Thank you so much because I know it's a lot of information and I know I know it takes a lot of effort to put because I've done that before. I used to hate it. To go back and retract everything that you've done for the whole month, okay, and present it, and so it's a lot. There's a lot you're doing, and you're putting it together, and so I was just curious. I was expecting you to tell me, no, there's a director, and then there's me, and then there's a coordinator.
And
No.
that's the end goal. This is a relatively new program, Mr. Castillon. It's a funding opportunity we got through the Department of State Health Services. We're kind of learning as we go, but it's been an amazing opportunity to have someone as Christine in this role, partnering with the rest of our division. So she does comprise our health education division, where any resources, any educational opportunity, tying in inclusivity and other programs. So this spreads throughout our health department. It's not only a lot of knowledge, whether it's from personal experience. She has a lot. Her education's tied into this as well. Movement all the information that has been set out by her program has been, like you said, relatable, very much in time. I was able to witness her, answer the call. The warming center opened up and she picked up her stuff in her car and went over to the warming center to assist, knowing that there was going to be children that required additional resources during this crisis. So we're very thankful. I'm very proud to say she started with our office, and from very early on, I was able to identify that she was going to be one of those individuals that was going to have a lot to offer, because she sees the big picture. She's very resourceful. Hearing the connections, I know it might be tedious to have to sound off, right, what you do in a month, but to hear all of that coming together, to hear her partner with Austin, partner with the Valley, those are the things that we need to show, to have presence, right, to show that Laredo needs to be on the map and also needs to be part of these efforts.
Yeah,
So
I
thank you,
appreciate
Christine, also from on behalf of us, and I've told you before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it shows that you're very invested. Say to us that you produce in the course of a month is a lot of work, and so I know that you're keeping busy, and I know it's very informative. It's information that people need, and so with other hospital systems as well as with the other universities. Okay, it tells a lot that you've been quite busy, and I think the citizens of Laredo will benefit quite substantially with your input, okay, and your relationship building. So thank you so much. It does not go unnoticed, okay? I just wanted to let you know, because I was like, she must represent like a group of 5 or 6 people.
Hopefully soon.
Anyway.
I did just want to interject briefly, based on your report early on. You mentioned, Christine, your meeting with parks on, inclusivity in parks, accessibility, the creation of perhaps a nonprofit. Please tie in this committee to those talks. If possible, we'll reach out to members so that they can have a seat at that table in that discussion. They do represent, they are appointed by our mayor to provide insight as experts. So I think it would be very beneficial for our community to tie in this committee to those efforts. So just keep us posted on that so we can involve the members of the committee a little bit more.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, everyone.
Christine. Next, we have a presentation from the Texas Workforce Solutions, the Vocational Rehab Services. I don't know, is it you, who's going to be doing the presentation, Diana?
Yes, I'll be doing the
Or
presentation.
Jeanette?
No, because Jeanette's doing the minutes. If not, she would.
She's capable. She'll remember what she said to us.
Hey, just real quick before I start, Christine, thank you for all your efforts. And, I want to piggyback on what Erica said is absolutely, tie us in. If there's anything that we can support and help, we got a lot of money. I mean, I think we're the only folks on here that can tell you we've got a lot of money to help people with disabilities. So we want to use that money in our community and the surrounding areas. So wherever we could tap in, or you think it's a good fit, call on us and let us know so that we can chime in and get some referrals from there so that we can use up this money for the folks that so desperately need it in our community. But you'll learn a little more, once I'm done with this presentation. I'm going to try and make it short and sweet. And then, of course, Martha will come in and close up with the I'm used to using Teams, and I think this is it. Can you all see that? Can you see my screen?
It's loading, yes.
Okay, is it a full screen?
Well, it's enough. We can see it. It's good enough.
You can see it? Okay.
Um,
Good.
Ms.
Yes.
Sanchez, before you start, I might need to drop off briefly closer to noon due to I need to attend to another matter. I'll still be logged on, but I'll be with a divided attention. But Christine and Andrea are here from my staff, and feel free to reach out. But I'll be connected, but kind of away.
No problem.
Thank-
Thanks for that.
Thank you, Erica.
Okay, so let me just give you a little bit of background. Back in 2016, we transitioned, right? The commission, TWC, transitioned DARS to Texas Workforce Solutions Vocational Rehabilitation Services so that we're all under the same umbrella. And people tend to confuse us because our names are so similar to Workforce Solutions for South Texas. So they've got different grants, different budgets. Jeanette is our leader in our area in Region 6. We have co-located because that's another requirement that the state had is that we co-locate with the workforce center, but we're two different entities. The idea is, of course, they go and help folks find jobs as we do, right? But we specialize in people with disabilities. So I wanted to share that with you so that we can understand where we are and how that came about. Our mission is to promote and support a workforce system that creates value and offers employers, individuals, and communities the opportunity to achieve and sustain economic prosperity. Overview for TWC VRS, we celebrated 100 years last year, right? From 1920 to 2020. That's amazing. We've been here 100 years, and a lot of folks still don't know, who we are. So I'm thankful for the opportunity to share here with the team. The Texas Workforce Commission, TWC, celebrated 100th anniversary of the vocational rehabilitation. During the past century, Texas has played a major role in advocating for individuals with disabilities and shaping the landscape of VR. Vocational rehabilitation serves businesses and employers seeking to recruit, hire, and accommodate employees with disabilities, including helping them to comply with federal hiring and accommodation requirements. Services include assistance, accommodating employees with disabilities, disability awareness training, recruitment and job matching assistance, and coordination of employer symposia and job fairs. Which reminds me, we are planning a job fair for May 13th, if I'm not mistaken. And that'll include, it'll be for our customers or individuals with disabilities, but I understand it'll also be open to the public. So more information will come on that. While much has changed over the past 100 years, the basic purpose of the VR program has remained the same: empower individuals with disabilities to achieve high quality employment outcomes and retention. TWC VRS has programs and services for Texans with physical or cognitive disabilities, including blindness or visual impairment. So I want to share something with you all that we're working on. Jeanette has tasked us with opening those doors for substance abuse, dependency. So we're in the works, because we do have the money. We're in the works to find those partners and working with those partners to align and go through all those logistics that we need to line up with state office. And once that is all up and running, we will surely get back to you and let you know, because we know that we're on the border and there is a need for that type of support. Okay, so I just wanted to throw that in. So our region, our South Texas Middle Rio Grande Unit 66 is unique. And it's unique that we cover 2 workforce board areas. So of course, one being Laredo, Jim Hog, and Zapata, and the other one is for our outline areas, the Rio, Eagle Pass, and Uvalde. And Ms. Jeanette oversees the whole unit, which is of course us and the outline area. Eligibility process. TWC VRS goal outcomes. We're looking for employment retention and employment. And I want to make that very clear, because we know that there are individuals out there who are on the system, and we respect that, but they want to stay on the system. They're not looking to obtain employment, or they're not interested in moving forward. We're going to love on them. We're going to pray for them, but those are not the people that we're looking for. We're looking for those people who are hungry and wanting to go to work, right? So those are the outcomes that we're looking for: employment retention and employment. So customer must be legal U.S. resident or U.S. citizen, must be a Texas resident, motivated to work or interested in employment, must have a documented disability or experiencing struggles. Example, not able to concentrate at work or at school, not performing well academically, unable to communicate with others, depression, anxiety. We've got a lot of that going on in speaking with counselors at the different schools, that the youth, of course, through this pandemic, they're home and they're used to going to their stomping ground, which is their school. And because they're not doing that, they're expressing and experiencing some type of depression and anxiety. We can help those folks. We want to talk to them, to the youth. We know that those pose barriers to employment or retention, or employment retention, and of course, school. Customer must need substantial VR services to attain employment and or retain employment. We are not income-based, but we do take income into consideration. A lot of folks don't know that. They're like, oh no, I'm way over. Come talk to us and let us help you make that informed decision, whether you qualify or not. Expectation after services rendered is for the customer to enter employment or retain employment. I can't stress that enough, because that's the outcome that we're looking for. We all know we're about money, numbers, right? And with that number comes an individual. And we always say, serve the people and continue to serve, and the numbers will come. But we got to get the right folks in order to produce those numbers. So SSI recipients or SSDI recipients are presumed eligible. Informed choice. This is very important, that we know that customers select the service provider they are interested in utilizing and their services. Customer and vocational rehabilitation counselor agree on suitable employment goal. So it's informed choice with the customer. Available services: vocational evaluations as needed, counseling and guidance, training and education assistance, assistive technology, medical services, hearing and restoration services, independent living services, hearing restoration services, and blind or visually impaired services. Those are just some. Accident retraining. I like to share this success story because back in the day when we were able to congregate and do our thing, vocational rehabilitation has the Laredo Disability Alliance, right? That is part of the vocational rehabilitation team in Laredo, and community partners, which we're revamping. So know that an invitation will be forthcoming. But at one of these employer symposiums, there was a gentleman who went up to give his success story. He was a big guy, tough guy, and he's up there at the podium, and it really resonated with me because he speaks on having an accident, and that from that accident, he used to work in the energy industry, right, in the oil and gas, which is big in South Texas. And from that accident, he could no longer do what he was doing. So you can imagine, he had wife, children, mortgage bills piling up, and he was devastated. So someone referred him to us, and he became a phlebotomist. So we did baby steps, right? And he expressed how he never thought in his whole life that he could do that. And then from there, he was doing the nursing school. And we're taking care of those funds as long as he's compliant. So we're about any impediment to employment, that there's a disability, that's where we come in. And that's a lot of the stuff that people do not know. People believe you've got to be on a wheelchair. A lot of disabilities today are non-visual, right? As we all know. So I like sharing that story because it's real. And he was up there, he was crying. I mean, he was very emotional. But it's such a benefit and so heartwarming to be part of an organization that truly helps individuals, get back on track, if you will. So let's talk about the kiddos, ages 14 to 22, right? Many students with disabilities are leaving secondary school without competitive integrated employment or being enrolled in post-secondary education. And there's a need to support such students as they transition from school to post-secondary life. WIOA emphasizes transition and youth services throughout. So WIOA is the Workforce Innovation Opportunity Act, right? And those are the ages that we serve, and we're needing youth. We're needing a lot of youth, got a lot of money to help. You know, if they've got some type of disability, have them come see us, see how we can help them move forward. Pre-ETS ages 14 to 22, and transition is 22 to 24. So we go all the way up to 24 for the youth group. Granted, there's no age limit. Our services start from 14 and up. So get help preparing for post-secondary education and employment opportunities through the following individualized services. Services are based on eligibility and your individual needs and are provided in collaboration with a family, high school, community college, or educational service center training provider. So we're in collaboration in the community with several training providers, and one that I'd like to highlight, of course, is Laredo College. They've got a lot of short-term fast-track trainings. Maybe they don't want to do a 2-year, 4-year, etc. And a lot of these short-term fast-track trainings there's studies, and it's evident that folks can make a very good living with one of those certifications. And they've got pharmacy tech, dental assistant, welding, you name it. I even think they've got a certification. It's like a 3-day where they can go and start as a substitute teacher. And they have a certificate and say, you know, that'll add value to that resume. So anyway, so those are some of the trainings. So for pre-ETS services, 14 to 22 years of age, students do not have to be U.S. citizen or legal resident. This is the only exception, right? This age group, students do not have to be U.S. resident or U.S. citizen or legal resident. That's the only exception for not being a U.S. citizen or legal resident. SEALS, Summer Earn and Learn program. We have good news. So we are doing the Summer Earn and Learn program this year. And Erica, I know that you're going to help us with that. Which, you know, the health department has been very gracious to assist in being an employer's job site. So what is the SEAL program? We carry the insurance rider, we carry the payroll, we take care of all of that, and all we ask is for those employers to be a job site so the individuals can learn, right? Get some on-the-job training. Work experience, we also have a 12-week work experience, which works in the same way. It's we carry the insurance rider, we do the payroll, and all we ask is that employer open their doors so that these individuals could train right on the job. Will you be able to afford the lifestyle you want? Oh, this is the career exploration. I like sharing this. It's a Texas reality check. And Christine, I think this would be good for the youth that you work with. You know, they get their hormones going and they're getting ready to get out of school and they think they got it all down pat. This will give them a real picture of, are you really ready to move out on your own? Do you want to rent? Do you want to buy? Are you going to drive a used car, a new car? It's a really good tool. So will you be able to afford the lifestyle you want? It's difficult to predict the future, but it's never too early to start planning for it. The Texas reality check will show how much your living expenses will cost and the amount of money you will need to earn to pay for them. Counseling and post-secondary options, fast-track training certifications, employment and internships. So those are some of the services that we've got for the youth. Vocational rehabilitation for adults, Workforce Solutions, Vocational Rehabilitation Services provides services for people with disabilities to help them prepare for, obtain, retain, or advance in employment. We do have the year-round work experience, that 12-week. We carry insurance rider, we pay the wages, we just need the partners to open up the work sites. Older individuals who are blind. Martha, do you have a PowerPoint or do you want to go over the OIB and you want to go ahead and start with the BVI?
No, I don't have a PowerPoint. I can go over the OIB and then from there take it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, sounds good. So for the older individuals who are blind, this is separate from vocational rehabilitation services. So there is a population that we can serve. It is still under Texas Workforce. But we do serve individuals that are over the age of 55 and over. And basically, this program, or what we call the OIB for short, it does promote independent living through the customer control, their peer support, self-help, determination, advocacy. Again, because we know that in itself, living with the visual impairment, maybe that individual is no longer interested in employment. They retired, they just want to enjoy life, but they know that they need some supports, based on if they're completely blind. So the OIB program, we do have an OIB caseworker that we have these customers, we refer to her, and she provides information and referral. There are some low vision aids that could be provided. There are some trainings, such as with the white cane, trainings with diabetes management. So ultimately, the skills that these individuals can continue to live an independent life. And again, even such neat things as what is the little, because I don't have it, the little Google or the Alexa,
Oh, yeah.
so she might go ahead and let the customer know, you're interested in still listening music, or you want to know what the weather is like for today. She lets the family members know, or the individual, you can purchase this, or there might be, some assistance out there, where we could possibly purchase this for you. And just something so small, can create such a big change in their lives. And again, they're like, I didn't know that I could possibly, enjoy my music again, just because it is so difficult to now, for me to access, my music, or my stereo or whatever, So this OIB program is really neat. But again, it does only serve those individuals age 55 and over. Again, it is for those who have a significant visual impairment, their ability to function. It's for them to function within the home, the family, community, and the delivery of these services will improve their ability to function, continue functioning, and move toward functioning independently within their community. So there is an email address there. There is a helpline, which is 512-936-3388, or the email address is oib.info@twc.texas.gov. And then again, you can most definitely refer, to myself, to Ms. Sanchez, to Ms. Ramos, and we will just forward this information to the appropriate caseworker. So this is the OIB program. Now, moving forward, or again, back to vocational rehabilitation services, when we conjoined back in 2016, we did have that name change, and it did confuse a lot of people, because ultimately we were known for blind and visually impaired. We did have kind of our separate branch. So for the blind and visually impaired, we were known as DARS, or Department of Assistive and Rehabilitative Services, DBS, or Division for Blind Services. So that's how previously we used to, that was our name branding, if you will. We are still ultimately vocational rehabilitation services. All of what Ms. Sanchez spoke about, those services are the services that we provide as well, but with some different eligibility requirements, of course, based on vision. We continue to be a specialized program. So if we have an individual coming in having issues with, they were just recently diagnosed with glaucoma, with something as simple as cataracts, which at the end might not be so simple, diabetic retinopathy, which is caused by diabetes, or maybe they were born with a condition that ultimately caused blindness. So we have all these definitions of what is an individual that is blind, that has blindness or low vision or legally blind. Previously, we did have very specific eligibility requirements, which was you had to be at 20/70 or worse in order to qualify for services. That was back in 2016. Now we did add having a significant visual impairment, as well as, ultimately low vision or as low vision, or of course, being legally blind. So what is being legally blind? Legally blind is ultimately, one might think it's being completely blind. It's not. It is ultimately having vision that is at 20/200 or worse, or your visual fields, which is your peripheral vision, it is at 20 degrees or less. So you do have, a very limited peripheral vision. Low vision is having vision of 20/70 or less in the better eye, or visual fields of 30 degrees or less, or a combination. It can also be a combination of both. And then ultimately, a significant visual impairment, it can be a disease or eye condition that does not meet the definition of blindness or low vision, but that impairment does create an impediment to employment, and it cannot be corrected with glasses or contact lenses. So, an example that you can get an idea. With our previous eligibility requirements, somebody would come in and somebody with glaucoma. So we ultimately know that glaucoma is progressive and it's affecting your peripheral vision. And we know that being progressive, that individual might ultimately lose their vision. So they would come in to me we would have an eye report, and their vision wasn't at 20/70. It was at 20/50, 20/40. And the customer would share, I am having difficulties in all these areas, and I'm having difficulty driving and at work, and I'm bumping into things, and I'm afraid I'm going to lose their job. And they would ultimately not qualify for our services. Well, now with this new definition, since we do know that it's a disease or eye condition, that of course it does not meet the criteria, but it does create a significant impediment to employment. And we know that glaucoma cannot be corrected with glasses or contact lenses. So then that's where now we do have more individuals ultimately coming in for services, and we're able to serve them. So some of the specialized services that we have or that we can provide ultimately is such things as assistive technology. We do have the diabetes management training. A big population that we have is individuals that are, their secondary conditions are diabetes. So it is really important to provide that education when we know that the customer is not a part of, let's say, with the City of Laredo Health Department, or maybe through Gateway, they're not receiving services. So we try to provide the education. That way they know that it's really important to manage your diabetes, to be controlled in order to avoid any other ocular complications, where ultimately maybe the treatment that they're getting might not work just because they are so uncontrolled and they don't really know how to take care of themselves. So that is a type of training that we have. The training with the white cane, we offer that. We know, like within the school districts, we know that they do have the VI teachers, or the visually impaired teachers, and they provide those services. But we continue to provide those services as well for the adults, or whenever, let's say, a student already is going to graduate and they're going to attend school in San Antonio, and they don't know the school, the area, the community, within the university, that might be a service that they're interested in. That way they don't get lost, they don't have an accident, and they're more familiar. And of course, in helping them become more independent. So, we also provide, we are still one of the same under vocational rehabilitation services, but just know that we continue to provide those specialized services. And of course, I would be the adult counselor, and we do have our transition counselor, which is Andrea Guerra, and she would serve the young adults. We are going to be having an event tomorrow, actually, because at the end of the day, we still continue to need referrals, and I want to say every program needs referrals, but we still continue to find that when we had the name change, people still wonder whatever happened to Division for Blind Services. So we're like, we're still here. So tomorrow we will be hosting an event to talk to our community partners, our providers, our vendors, which is of course consists of ophthalmologists, optometrists, other agencies, and letting them know we're still here. This is our referral process. This is how you can refer somebody to us. And of course, why we are needing those referrals, because at the end of the day, we're helping Laredoans to become independent, to be successful, to know where to get all these resources, all these services, and again, getting them back to work, back to employment. So if I think we are inviting some of the Blue Ribbon members, but if you're interested in being part of this meeting, of this informative fruit meeting, we can most definitely send out that.
I think she froze, huh?
I looked at everyone's face, and everyone has the same expression on their face. What happened?
We're trying to be cool, Danny. We're trying to be cool.
Nobody moved. Okay, Roy was like part of the.
So anyway, on this keys to successful partnership, Christine, I know you RSVP, Mr. Garza as well. If you've not received an invitation and are interested, just bounce us an email and we can get that to you. We're creating that Teams invite today, so we could forward that to you. It'll be just on blind and visually impaired services mostly. We will touch on vocational rehabilitation. We've got big money, guys. We need folks, referrals. We got big money. Jackie, ya sabes, we've got big money.
If I can just add to that, and thank you so much for this information. Of course, I'm somewhat familiar with some of the programs. Thankfully, we've been able to collaborate in the past, and I'm very excited to hear SEAL is returning and all the other programs are continuing. I'm tying in City of Laredo Human Resources to ensure that not only health department is considered a site, but we're considered a site throughout our organization, so throughout the City of Laredo, and that will open up avenues for different careers. Of course, as the health department, we do want to highlight careers in public health and what those paths look like. But definitely, we want to make sure that our organization, City of Laredo, is accessible to all of you. For these meetings, I was very interested in her talking about the diabetes program and the resources they have available. Christina, if you can tie in Omero and both attend that event, I think that would be a good avenue to identify any potential referrals. As we all know, we do have high incidence of diabetes in our community. We try to highlight prevention, right? Physical activity, nutrition, and just disease self-management as a whole. But for those that do require these resources, I think it would be important to connect with our nutritionist with that program. I think we lost her.
You muted, Jackie.
Jackie, you're muted.
You're muted.
You're muted.
There we go. And I'm excited to hear that we're going to have some of the students back here in the summer. We love having them. We enjoy having them. They're a great help here at the center. Also, Christine, I'm very impressed of all the things that you're working on for the special needs community. And I do have some questions, but I want to reach out to you, Christine, separately, because I have many questions and maybe some suggestions, and maybe you can answer some questions that confirm what I was understanding. But thank you also very much. I think that coming together like this every special needs community. Also, Erica, on a side note, I'll be emailing you just on a question about, thank you so much for assisting us in getting those COVID vaccines. That was great help to our staff to continue servicing our patients. So I'll be reaching out to you to see what we're going to do about the second one, since I think this week is the third or fourth week that we got the first one. Thank you.
Yes, feel free to reach out. I know, people see operations and think that I'm more than willing to connect. I mean, I do interject whenever is needed. I offer my assistance whenever possible. This is a huge undertaking that we need to do with the vaccine, but it's necessary. So definitely feel free to reach out and I'll connect you to the right people.
Thank you, Erica.
I am so sorry. My Wi-Fi just died. It wasn't. But I was actually done. That was my last sentence. But if any of you have any referrals or are interested in tomorrow's meeting, I can most definitely forward you that team's invite. But yes, thank you so much for listening.
Mr. Miguel, the only thing I did mention to Ms. Sanchez, I was really interested in the resources you mentioned you have available for the diabetes program. For diabetes, incidents, I guess. And I think it would be important to connect our nutritionists that oversee. That would be a good pipeline for potential referrals.
Yes, I think so. That would be really a really good idea. I know we've been trying to do that outreach because yes, ultimately they are the ones that will talk to these customers, and then that's where the customers share more information and let them know what they're having difficulties in. And again, at the end of the day, they might not know that we are still here under Texas Workforce Solutions Vocational. That email, and hopefully she can attend tomorrow. If not, we can have another separate presentation.
Okay. Yeah, I've asked Christine if she can connect you. Perhaps she'll be involved as well. I'm guessing, I'm hoping. And then we'll connect Homero Cantu, who's our disease self-management nutritionist there. And they're very creative right now. I know with social distancing, we services. They provide online information, and they still work with patients and customers. So referrals are made.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Marta, thank you so much for all your report. I have a real quick question. With regard to cataracts, do you all provide John? Do you all provide the funding for that or no?
Well, yes, I know a lot of people might think we are just medical services. That's why I spoke about the other type of services that we have. We ultimately do provide medical service. And he was diagnosed with cataracts. He's having difficulties, and of course, driving, which is the major function of his job. And the doctor's recommending the surgery. Then we can ultimately provide that surgery. And the same goes for other. Because of the diabetes already did so much damage, the doctor's recommending that treatment. There's also injections, lasers. Again, it's all based on what the doctor, the ophthalmologist is recommending, and of course, what their ultimate goal is for the customer. But yes.
Okay, thank you. I was curious about. Thank you. Yana, thank you for your report.
No, thank you all. Thank you for your time and the opportunity. I think
Use a new car if you. just gonna keep it to
Yeah. Zap, zap, zap.
Thank you. You are servicing our patients very well. We're getting quick response to referrals that we send out there. Thank you. Some questions. And also maybe Ms. San Miguel, what about cornea transplants? Do you for surgeries for cornea?
Plans, because even then, we did have a clarification. It's not considered ultimately like an organ transplant. Has keratoconus. That is an eye condition that will ultimately lead that are still considered new, so that the state really doesn't we might send it up to, you know, to see if it's approved or not, but it's usually not because it's considered so new. But yes.
All right.
I think we're all done. Jeanette, thanks for the minutes. I didn't forget to you. You've been very quiet today.
Yes, I'm typing over here, typing like a little fiend.
Thank you so much. We missed you last week. But did everybody survive the alleged winter storm?
Not yet. I would like to share some information when time is available
About what?
about Special Olympics. I would like to share with the Blue Ribbon Committee when we have some free time before we end.
I don't have any information on the Special Olympics. Does anyone else?
No, I do. I want to share with the committee.
No, absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're moving into announcements. If you want to, you can just elaborate on that.
I just want to share something with the committee here that I think I'm very proud of here at UISD. As you know, the pandemic has affected our students in a lot of ways. Last year, you know, Special Olympics is a huge activity for them, and unfortunately wasn't able to be done. We did ours virtually. So this year I got together, you know, with one of the coordinators who oversees it and our coaches, and we came up with an idea of continue to have Special Olympics, but still have it virtually. So we got together with Special Olympics from Austin. And I'm very proud to say that we are the only ones in the state of Texas that's going to have Special Olympics this year virtually. Our first day will be on Monday. On Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday will be our Special Olympics. We have pre-recorded our opening ceremonies. Each school did their own little bajomi, I guess how you pronounce it, a bajomi for their schools. We recorded the music. We went ahead and did the lighting of the torch from last year, which starts on Monday. It's all going to be done virtually. The coaches have come up with creative ideas. They're going to have sensory activities for our students. All this will be done virtually, either at home or either in class support in the classroom. We're also going to have a dance afterwards, separately and apart in their homes or in their classrooms. They have activities that have come up with this, like around the world with Coach Salinas. He's out in the forest and he'll be talking about different things out in the activities, and the students will be participating virtually. There is an outdoor adventure around the world with Coach Salinas, dance mix with Coach Branda, foxtails with Coach Sandoval, the Tower of, not pizza, but the Tower of Pizza with Coach Mendiola. And all these came out into effect. And we got together with Special Olympics, and we wanted every child to get a medal, you know, just for participating. Of course, as you know, we're very tight on budget. So I'm very proud to say that the Special Olympics was so impressed. They're going to take full cost of this activity. We're not going to pay 1 penny for UISD. They were just totally blown away with their presentation. Each child is going to get a goodie bag, and in each goodie bag, they're going to have a Chick-fil-A coupon. They're going to have pencils, community coupons. They're going to have a gift bag. They're going to have face masks. They're going to have hand sanitizers and their medals. So this will be on Monday. Unfortunately, we cannot share the link because it's, you know, it's private for the school get together and you think outside the box, there's ways to get students still involved. The parents are very excited, so are we. So this starts on Monday all the way through Wednesday. I just want to share that with the committee.
Jaime, congratulations. I know that Special Olympics has always been real special for students with disabilities. It's one of those moments where an opportunity where they get to feel as normal as they're going to get. Okay. And they're very proud of their ribbons and awards and medals that they win. Okay. And so it's great that you're going to be able to reconnect them to that activity, especially during this time, because I know that it's been a while. But no, I congratulate you, and I
Thank you so much.
thank you. Any other announcements? I wanted to ask you all, does anybody know? I haven't seen Mr. Roberto Delgado in months or meeting after meeting, and I don't know anything about Miss Addo either. So does anyone know if Andrea could give me a list of who's been here, like going back a year? Because it seems like it's been forever that I have not seen them. And I know that Miss Addo was here maybe 3 or 4 meetings ago. But Roberto, I haven't had any contact with him for more than a year, I think, at least.
Okay. On the attendance for the members, and then we'll make an effort to reach out to.
Thank you. Any other announcements that anyone needs to make? Okay. Well, if not, then I need someone to motion for adjournment, and I need someone to second it. And thank you all for being here and attending. I know it makes it difficult with doing this, but I appreciate that all of you are here this morning and for your participation and your assistance. So with that, I'd like to conclude the meeting. If I can have someone motion to move the meeting to close.
All motion.
Thank you, Diana. I need a second.
And I'll second.
Okay, Marta, thank you so much. Thank you all for participating today.